this post is from whatever Instagram. And so in February of last year, it took me down a whole rabbit hole of anger and depression. And I'm still working through the anger process because it's still coming up, especially right now, as of September of 2025, watching what the world is doing, creating a martyr. And I won't mention any names, but I'm just kind of like, where all my spiritual, energetic people not losing their mind into tribal thinking around a singular person. Enough said. So I'm working through that right now. But I wanted to show you the Great Cosmic Mother. So I started with this one. It's a special kind of awful because it describes the atrocities of the patriarchy and colonization stemming from the origin of the Abrahamic religions. Second was Women Who Run with the Wolves. Clarissa told stories from her ancestors, and she's a Jungian deep psychoanalyst. The act of storytelling allows the mind to open up, releasing patriarchal conditioning. And then here we go. This helped me be less angry, especially when I read La Llorona and understood how the animus, the inner masculine in women, becomes toxic. It brought me some peace because I was alchemizing my inner masculine, my perfectionism, people pleasing, overdoing things, being a control freak, etc. I was able to forgive myself for how toxic I was because of my daddy issues. And I want to speak to this for a second because up until reading that chapter, like the whole book set me up to get to that chapter. And when I listened to some commentary about the book, and actually I think even Clarissa says like this is a book that you should take your time with, like don't rush through it. And I'm like Aries rising, I'm on a mission. I'm gonna go through it. I read it very, very quickly. So by the time I got to like and every story spoke to me. Every story was meaningful to me. But when I got to La Llorona, I was like, "Oh." Because what I had felt like reading this story was that, I had just spent 10 months in an attachment theory, attachment trauma type of a course led by a man who now in hindsight, I'm like, dude was very patriarchal. No wonder there were some things that really rubbed me the wrong way. But it also gave me a chance to be with a masculine mentor. I really hadn't had that depth of a masculine in my life to hold up a mirror, challenge me, hold me. Like he was very supportive, even though there was some quirks that I wasn't quite on board with. But this story allowed me to not be so hard on myself, that there was so much that I had to correct because the story allowed me to see how polluted I had gotten in my self judgment and trying to correct, try to fix this, try to fix that. And it really gave me breathing room and some place to expand myself. The Great Mother. Eric was a well respected student of Carl Jung. He evolved the work and made it a bit digestible. This book is a history of the physical and spiritual symbology of the feminine, the matriarchal religion before the patriarchal belief system. And I feel like I'm missing one. I'm missing one. Maybe it was this one. There were diagrams that showed the transformative character on the spiritual side, which is like Lilith and Sophia. And then on the physical side, which is Gaia. And I forget some of the names of like people. So there's the transformative character with the female, with it is metaphysical and physical embodiments. Gate of the Horn, this is archaeology, but I'm not going to get into all of this. The Magdalene manuscript, this is a channeled manuscript, but there are things that really match up with some things that we know about Mary Magdalene. Then, of course, we have the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. And I've mentioned this in the light body module of week 2. Happier Than God. I was like really reluctant to read this, but I was like, let me read this. And it was good because it mentions the feelings, and feelings is feminine energy. And so even though that there is God, as in more of like a masculine entity, it was like, oh, he is still speaking to the need for us to be in touch with feelings, which is always synonymous with feminine. And then this one I haven't read all the way. I'm kind of getting bored with it. Um, This one, I'm also not all the way done with. That my intuition told me to turn it off and shift gears into some other things. I'll probably come back to it at some point. Let me see. There's anything else I wanted to share with you. Let's see. No. Okay. So this is a lot of the images of La Llorona are like super scary and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I liked this one that it was actual representation in Mexico. And then of course we have the book. And if you click on this on the PDF, you are going to have the entire book at your fingertips. So